My advice. Gotta go where the bands play, milk and honey flow. Everyone is safe low. That's sweet and low down.
The world is in rhyme, swinging to three-quarter,
four-quarter,
swinging to three-quarter,
four-quarter,
three-quarter,
four-quarter,
three-quarter,
four-quarter,
swinging to three-quarter time.
So, Michael, I am so thrilled we have guests from the most fun musical I have seen on Broadway in a very long time.
Indeed. Nice Work If You Can Get It, which opened last season, but shows no signs of flagging. Still doing very, very well at, what theater is that? They're at the Imperial, is it? The Imperial Theater. And two of the reasons it is holding up so well are two of its cast members who are among the funniest performers here in New York. We are very delighted to be joined by JUDY KAYE, making her third appearance on Theater Talk from her Mamma Mia days, and Souvenir, where you played, what was the name of the woman who couldn't...
Florence Foster Jenkins, thank you very much.
Who couldn't hit a note to save her life, but sailed on gallantly.
Yeah.
Welcome, JUDY. And another fine, wonderful character actor, very, very funny man, Mr. MICHAEL McGRATH, who appeared in Born Yesterday, Memphis, and Spamalot, and won a Tony Award, his first Tony Award for Nice Work.
And JUDY won her
second Tony Award. So now I got to ask you guys, going into the Tonys, were you sort of positioned as kind of the underdogs, or was everyone predicting you when you go up to that Tony Award night and you're reading the prediction is this, or predicting that, they're predicting this?
You know what? I remember who should win and who did win, who will win. We were always in the will win, not
I was never in the will
You
win.
were not?
You were not?
No, JUDY, you were a
will
slam dunk.
Was I?
On
A
the
slam
pole.
dunk? Really?
But
Okay.
You were will win, I was, what's he doing there?
Well, no. It wasn't what's he doing there, because everybody, you're fantastic. But for some reason, people were predicting. They were predicting
Servers.
Well, not for some reason, they were predicting servers.
Well, they were predicting
completely
servers.
different.
See, I don't know why that role would even be in that category. Why would Perone be?
Well, I think that's because then otherwise he wouldn't have gotten nominated at all for being the lead. But
I
because he wanted
understand
Ricky
these
Martin to have a shot, which he didn't anyway. But
Right.
But of course, you both have the same first name, Michael, and they say, and the winner is Michael.
Exactly.
God, what did you do at that moment?
It was that to tell the truth moment.
What was that like for you?
It's actually kind of a white room moment in a way. You know, you go, everything you think you're gonna say, it goes out.
Right.
For
You
me,
guys
for me, it went out the window.
Do you really prepare the speech though that afternoon? I mean, do you write it out? Do you memorize? How does it work? Just give us the inside of being a nominee there.
Well, I did, because I didn't want to be hung up. And it was kind of an important moment in my life. I just lost my dad, and I knew that I had to find a way to pay tribute, but not go past the 90 seconds in total, and not be maudlin about. I just, I thought I better think about this. I want to dedicate this to my dad. We lost him last week. And like me, he was a lifelong fan of the brilliance of George and Ira Gershwin. Thank you, Daddy, and thank you all. Good night.
That was a lovely speech.
Thank you.
And you, did you just wing it? Or?
I kind of winged it.
It's a thrill for me to be on Broadway. It's what I always wanted to do when I was a kid, and I'm getting the chance to do it. There are so many people to thank along the way. It's a list as long as a football field.
I thought a lot about who I wanted to mention and what I wanted to say, but every time I tried to think about it, I had to remind myself that I probably wasn't going to win. And I thought, like, if I made a complete speech, I was telling myself that I was going to win. So I didn't want to get that far in. So I just thought of a few thoughts, and I knew I had to mention my family and my wife. And I didn't mention my daughter, and I got a text from her the second I got off the stage. Thanks for not mentioning it.
Years of psychiatry now. When you started your relationship with Nice Work If You Can Get It, were you invited to be in this, or did you have to audition?
Well, I will be totally honest. Some years ago, I was sent the script. There was going to be a reading of it. It was a long, long time ago, and I was otherwise engaged in some other reading or something, and I couldn't do it. I cut to, this is happening, I was actually had auditioned for the funny girl that was supposed to go into the Imperial.
Oh,
and, right. But I didn't get that job. I wasn't offered that. But then they were in negotiations with somebody else for this part.
Really?
As I get most of my jobs that way, actually.
As long as you get them.
That's right. In fact, I should stick to that because it works out usually when I'm in second position and then just move in. But yeah, no, I did not audition.
How about you?
I actually auditioned for this show 11 years ago when it was at the Goodspeed Opera House.
Really?
It was this show is a later incarnation of what was called They All Laughed, which was at Goodspeed in 2001.
Oh, I remember that. They all.
And Joe's book.
Yeah, Joe DiPietro, yeah.
Originally supposed to be directed by John Rando, but then was directed by Christopher Ashley. I played Cookie in that production, and subsequently did maybe 6 or 7 readings over the past 10 years with casts that featured Sutton Foster as Billy and Cheyenne Jackson as Jimmy Winter, and
people who are now in the actors'
Mark
home.
Kudish as Jimmy Winter, and Aaron Dilley. I mean, just so many different. Katie Finneran as Eileen, and Kevin Chamberlain as Duke. I mean, I had so many different casts.
But they knew to keep you.
Well, I did all the readings.
Yes.
They didn't necessarily always keep me as Cookie if they were going to do a production. But there were some rough goes, but finally, in the end, I ended up playing Cookie here, yes.
And the part you were born to play.
Kind of.
You guys have been around this business for a while. Do you ever get concerned that this workshop process that goes on and on and on and on and on kind of bleeds the life or the energy out of a show, that these workshops?
I think it can. I think it can.
Yeah.
I don't think it always does. In a perfect world, they learn a lot and they get it right as if there's such a thing as right. But I think they really get it as close as possible. But yeah, I think it's possible that it can just sort of they don't know when to quit. You know, they don't know when to stop playing and just get up and do it.
And workshops become kind of backers auditions after.
Well, they are. That's what they
That's
are.
what they're
Exactly
doing
what
now.
that-
I mean,
That's what readings are too now. It's like, you know, there's always money people at the readings. It's all and workshops are the same. I mean, but workshops are now becoming so elaborate.
Yeah.
I know a friend of mine is doing a workshop right now that's costing $300,000 for a workshop.
Wow.
With a set and costumes and
Is it any
wigs
good?
and
Is
why
it
like
any-
just put on the freaking show.
Is it any good?
I don't know.
Oh, yes, it was.
Wait, Judy, when you were doing On the 20th Century, I mean, you know, were there elaborate workshops for that and whatnot?
No,
It was like
no.
you know, Cy comes in, Cy Coleman and Betty Comedy-Off Green come in. Here's the score, and Hal Prince is directing, and
That's right. And we went out of town. We went to Boston. We went to the Colonial Theater and worked it out.
I guess that used to be the workshop.
Yeah, that's
And
what
there
you
was
do.
You had the experience in Spamalot, didn't you? You went out of town in
Chicago.
Chicago.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's really fundamental, especially for a musical, to get it right. Because Spamalot was in very good shape. I saw it in Chicago, but there were a couple of numbers. One with a cow, I think, where you just think, yeah, that's got to
Which
go.
got cut,
but you
yes.
just know right there it's going to go. You know,
Right.
that's how it's going. That's how it's going to work.
Right.
You both are turning this wonderful performances. You won Tony Awards, but here you are in this show that stars Matthew Broderick and
Kelly O'Hara.
And Kelly O'Hara. And for example, in the recent, I don't know if you heard about this edition of Forbidden Broadway, there's a number where they're satirizing Matthew Broderick.
Melody by Gershwin, soaring high as the sky. Nice song if I could sing it, and when I sing it, you will cry.
The guy is Matthew Broderick.
Well,
But they always overstate.
as a Forbidden Broadway veteran,
You know, right?
I can tell you
It's done with
that
love.
they go for it's done with love. Oh, sure. It's sometimes it's the easiest, most common denominator, that we go for. Matthew gets laughs that no other person on this planet. This is someone coming from me who knows a little bit about getting a laugh. Matthew gets laughs that don't exist, and he squeezes every laugh he can possibly get out of that script, and he gets them consistently every single night.
Matthew's he's been around this block a long
Yeah.
time, and I think
He's an easy
I
target,
actually
I
think being on Forbidden Broadway, being sent up by Forbidden Broadway is a badge of
Well,
honor.
it
is
is,
not?
it is. Of course it is.
Absolutely.
I do want to ask you, as a Forbidden Broadway veteran, when you are doing these send-ups of people, do you ever think, ooh, am I going a little too far? Or the only way it works is if you just cut loose and do it.
Yeah, when you're in rehearsal and you get the when you're working on a new edition and you get the material and you think like, I mean, my wife who was with me in those days, Tony DeBono, she had to do a Barbara Cook number, which was, the sun comes up, I think about food, and it was not good. So, you know, she was like, I don't think I can do this.
I think about
It's so bad. It's so bad.
Someone must
I
die.
know. I know.
But you got to do it because it's going to get a laugh, right?
Bullying, right?
But I mean, I know Matthew, and I think Matthew would be the first to laugh at the.
Yeah,
he would laugh at the send-up in Forbidden Broadway.
No, he'll pile on. He'll say
I want
some
to
other.
go. I want to
he'll
go with
go
him. I
further.
keep saying, let's go. You know.
Oh, you should. Absolutely.
We should take the whole cast over
Just
there.
get it liquored up and
and
go.
scare the bleep out of them.
That would be great. All right. Well, two terrific performances and nice work if you can get it by Michael McGrath. Did I say McGraw?
No, yeah, no, you
McGrath.
said McGrath, but it is McGrath.
It's not. Oh, it's not McGraw. Because I
Somewhere
always thought it was
between an
McGraw, but then I see McGrath.
Just drop the T and then you can say it.
Michael McGrath.
And you're doing great business. It's getting more and more.
At
and
the Imperial Theater.
It's the funnest. The funnest.
The funnest? Is that
Come on down.
That funnest.
Michael McGrath and Judy Kaye, and nice work if you can get it. And let me know when the cast is going to go see Forbidden Broadway. I'll book a table.
Okay, great.
We'll all have a laugh. Nice work if you can get it at the Imperial Theater. Looks like it's going to be there for quite a while. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
By Joe! By Joe! By G! By G! By Strauss is the thing! So I say to